Okay, so in this next video, I'm playing in a four-way situation where in the hijack we limp, and Zappa Zamaki, who is a weak reg, bordering on being a fish basically, ISO's really huge as we see. He ISO'd to a massive amount of 10 antes. We can take a bit of time to look at the pre-follow-up solutions. We need some 4max, and so 4max 100 antes deep. So 1 second while this loads. Okay, so we do limp with jack 9 suited, as we should do all the time. Cut off folds, and Zappa Zamaki ISOs. But notice how his ISO size should only be to like 6 antes. Maybe like, maybe 7 antes would be acceptable. And he will definitely be ISOing more with like the strong hands than these weak hands. Like it's even possible he's almost never ISOing these weak hands and almost always ISOing like queens, ace queen, ace jack, pocket jacks, pocket tens, ace jack. So he's very, very linear in his ISO range basically, and he's raising for huge sizings even with aces, as we see. But still, I think Jack 9 suited is just too strong to be folding. Like, I would probably be folding maybe Ace 6 suited, like these 7x suited, maybe Jack 8, King 8, Queen 8, even King 9 and Queen 9 suited. I'd even be folding some Broadway offsuit hands, and, Ace 9 off and stuff. But I think Jack 9 suited is just too strong to be folding, and so I did end up calling here. So I think my pre-flop play is fine, and on the flop he's betting very big. He's betting like at least 3/4 of the pot, almost full pot basically. And I think I was put in a very tough spot basically, and my question was, should I get the money in here? Should I just call? Maybe I could fold. No, I've got a pretty decent hand. I've got Jack 9 with a backdoor flush draw and a backdoor straight draw, but against this guy's very, very linear, depolarized range, is there any way that I can get away from this hand? And so I wanted to look at how GTO is playing the spot, as well as how I should really play against him in reality. So, all right, let's go ahead and check it out. So let's start by looking at the GTO solution. We're including everything GTO, including pre-flop, and even the sizings here are going to be pretty GTO compared to here where the pot's going to be bloated. So this is a fully GTO solution, and later on we're going to look into a fully node-locked version basically. And we see that we should pretty much be checking our entire range to him, or most of it. You can have a slight donking range, maybe with a hand like queens, ace jack, I don't know, maybe ace 8 suited or something, but to simplify, checking 100% is very effective. And on the flop, in position, can use a variety of bet sizings. So if the pot was, I think the sizings I chose 33, 75, 150. Okay, so those are the sizings I chose. And as we see, it's actually mixing a ton between the different sizings, although maybe the preferred sizing would be about 75% of the pot. So that's something maybe we could try to simplify and see if we use only a 75% sizing, how would it end up playing? Because it's a bit tough to remember, all right, 50% with aces, overbet 50%, just 75%. And what type of hands want to just bet small? Anyways, it's mainly jacks, but what else? Like some weird queen nine combos sometimes. It's just hard to remember what other combos you bet small with, like ace seven, pocket eights maybe. Yeah, it's not really a thing to bet small. But let's say he does bet like 3/4 of the pot, which is kind of standard. And, in this situation, Jack 9 is one of the better hands to just check raise. I think it's got a lot to do that we're blocking top pair, and we've got all these backdoors as well. So, my hand, Jack 9 of hearts, was decent to check raise, but especially Jack 9 of spades, interestingly enough, without the backdoors. So anyways, the board came out Jack of diamonds, 7 of hearts, 6 of clubs. We had the Jack 9 of hearts, and I just want to see how much equity we have against certain hands. Like against Ace Jack, we're doing very bad. Against King Jack, we're doing much better. Against Kings, we got 35%. Against Ace, it's 31%. Against a hand like 8-9, we were ahead quite significantly. Same against 10-9, we're doing great. Against a hand like Ace 8, we've got 70% again. So Jack 9 has good blockers against a lot of his kind of weaker bluff type of hands and makes huge equity favorites. And as long as we're not against a hand like Ace Jack, we're actually in very good shape. He's never really going to have Jack 7 in this situation. But even against Jack 7, we're doing better than we are against Ace Jack, as you notice. So I just wanted to look at oranges to see how our equity may look like in that spot. So it's good to know that Jack 9 suited may be one of our better candidates to check raise. Same with Jack 10 off, especially since, if we just check call and an overcard comes, it can be very hard to play with these type of hands. And they can even just go all in right on the flop, which I find quite interesting. Same with queens, ace jack off, and ace 9 off makes for a decent bluff, dominating 8-9. So out of position, these type of large raise bluffs make a lot of sense and are very good plays. In position, we'd rather, call against aggression, play passive, have a decent check back range. You do want to check back a lot with a hand, for example, such as Queen Jack, 8-9. All right. So let's say I was playing against GTO bot. My ideal play with Jack 9 of hearts would probably have been to call and see a turn and make decisions on the turn. Did my hand improve or not? But we were not playing against the GTO bot. We were playing against someone who raised very large. So against someone who's raising huge, my range of hands becomes much more limited. So whereas before, I was playing these hands, now I'm folding them. I'm probably limp raising my ace x offsuit or folding. So ace queen at limp raise, ace jack off would be very close. And then I'd fold in like king 10 off, queen 10 off, the worst. Jack 9 off, 10 8 off for sure, 7x suited. So I'm folding much more basically. Yeah, even I don't know what ace queen is doing there, to be honest. Cool, and we should still be checking a ton, even against the. I mean, now it does actually make a lot more sense to be donking because we want to have like a 20% donking range because he's gonna have a bunch of just I also changed his range. in position range. So his in position range before was much weaker. It had a lot of 25 frequency hands with like king, queen, like ace jack suited, whereas now, you know, the 25 frequency hands may have changed, but he's raising 100% with queens, 75% with ace queen off, and like all these Broadway combos. You know, he's got a much more linear, much stronger range. He's ISOing all his suited Broadways at some frequency, maybe even more than this, and so his range is much stronger and in general, but he's hitting the low boards much less, and because of that, you know, if we lead with a hand like king jack off or ace jack off, we actually have got pretty decent equity against his range. And I don't know, maybe we have to stack off actually a few jams with most of our jacks. Yeah, we do. So, you know, jacks are very valuable in this situation. But let's say we check, and you know, he's supposed to be checking back quite a lot with a hand like queen jack or a hand like 9-8. He's supposed to check back pocket jacks all the time. He's supposed to bluff sometimes with ace king or ace queen. He's supposed to check back a lot of jacks, and you know, he's supposed to bluff a ton with ace 10. The truth is, I don't think he's doing that either. So I went ahead and node-locked how he would play, and I set myself to check 100%, and that he would be not bluffing with ace 10 nearly enough, or ace 10 he is bluffing, but you know, everything else he's going to be betting. Like all these jacks, he's betting too much. Jack 9 suited with the backdoors, he's bluffing too much. 9-8, 10-8 with backdoors, he's bluffing too much. Ace 8, he's betting too much. So, and I still included a few bluffs, but in all honesty, I probably should have just got rid of those bluffs against his specific range. And he's using a very large bet sizing, as we see. And once that happens, we still can't really fold Jack 9, but it's like a push-4 situation. Jack 9 by jamming is like extremely marginal as a shove. And I really suspect that, you know, if I made him like check 100% with ace 10, let's check 100% with ace 10, king queen, king 10, queen 10, queen 9, like ace king and ace queen off. Like if I make him check 100% with those, all of a sudden, I'm pretty sure now that, you know, we can start folding our Jack 9, which is kind of a massive deviation from GTO, but I think it's going to have to be the best play. So let's just wait for this to solve and see what happens, basically. Okay, so the solution is completed. Let's come back. He's again under bluffing. And now, you know, Jack 9 suited is basically 0 EV. Jack 10 suited is these hands that had to be like getting it in before, is basically like the best play now is to just call and wait for a safe turn. And you know, if it's a turn like the 8 of hearts or something, then we can just, I don't know, maybe we can even donk shove or something. Yeah, we basically wait for a safe turn, and then we either like you know, we either check fold or we just donk shove. I mean, I wonder if we ever check fold. Yeah, so we can check fold with king jack, queen jack, 10-8. That does make sense. And donk shoving with like, if we turn some equity basically. So I actually like that play quite a lot. So instead of check raising, just getting it in, which would be, you know, very standard most of the time, or like you can even debatably fold on the flop right now, which is kind of insane. And just, we should be jamming king jack, ace jack just for value, because his range is so equity heavy. In this situation, again, like folding a jack 9 was unfathomable. But over here, as we see, like jack 9 of hearts is so marginal, it's such a close spot that against this specific player, it does make sense to be folding. You know, it was even calling king queen suited, for example, GTO, but against this specific player, it's just a terrible play to be calling king queen suited. Yeah, so this is a good example showing how far we need to deviate from GTO against, you know, weak players, basically. All right, so this was a pretty short video, but pretty basic, but pretty important.